I don't usually do these sorts of videos. There are plenty of YouTubers out there who fill this niche, but this one's worth talking about.
Quantum travel initiated.
A few hours ago, CIG released the latest letter from the chairman. Now, for those who are newer to Star Citizen, the letters from the chairman are rather lengthy posts from Chris Roberts himself, oftentimes glancing over their plans, what's coming, and whatnot. It's a long read, but if you do want to read it, the link's in the description. In this letter, Chris Roberts made a somewhat unexpected but very important statement. Several of them, actually. First is confirmation of something a few of us suspected for a while. iCache is dead. In Roberts' own words, iCache would have likely have low latency at the scale we needed. We pivoted to using a graph database at the start of 2021. So yeah, that's that rumour put to bed. It has caused delays, obviously. They did a lot of work, that's now been thrown in the bin, but that's kind of the nature of game development. Now, for the first of the big ticket items, CIG have gotten the main component of server meshing, persistent entity streaming, working. Remember Chris Roberts' much memed example of drop a mug on a planet, go away, come back later and it's still there? They've done it. Now this is, of course, internal and not in player hands, but they've finally cracked the single biggest hurdle to server meshing. This, however, is responsible for something many will be very saddened to hear, but there is a good reason for this. Alpha 3.18 will not be coming around June as expected. In fact, there will be no main Q2 patch at all. CIG expect PTU to push 3.18 all the way into late Q3, so that they can have a much longer PTU cycle wherein they can test the persistent entity streaming, make sure all the kinks are worked out, before releasing it to live. I mean, let's be honest, we all know that there are many players out there who, upon realising that stuff doesn't despawn, will stash about 1,000 dead bodies in a random corner of Grimhex. If you want an idea of what kind of time frame we're talking here, if, like me, you were around for the 2.6.3 to 3.0 transition, similar sort of time frame. To tide us over, however, we will see a 3.17.2 filling the gap with a promise of a more stable codebase, new missions, more gameplay, more locations, around about the time we'd expect to see 3.18, so it's not all doom and gloom. Now, what does the future look like? Well, next month we should see a large point patch, as I just mentioned, to tide us over until, I suspect, probably about October, when we will see full persistence, the cargo refactor, salvage, yes, sorry guys, you're going to have to wait for those, and as a bonus, the majority of the Gen 12 rendering will probably be done by then. Frame rates be praised! Following this, CR expects that true server meshing, or at least the static version of it, will begin testing at the end of Q4, so about Christmas time, with a strong chance of that actually falling into Q1 of 2023. Let's be honest, it's gonna fall into Q1. Star Citizen is finally, after 10, 12, however you're measuring it, long years, finally coming together. Leave your thoughts down below, and with that I thank you for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.